Ever wondered how much it would cost to make a cover album such as this one? Well, we're about to find out. Hey everyone, TeraCMusic here. I am a video game cover musician on YouTube, and I made a themed cover album last year in August, like I showed before. And this is my Chrono Cross album. It has 11 tracks on the physical CD and also on Bandcamp, and everywhere else it has 10 tracks. We're gonna kind of break down how much everything costed in terms of making the physical CDs, in terms of the licensing for the CDs, licensing for the digitals, mastering costs, artwork commission costs, and any other costs that might have also come up in the process of making and marketing the album. So let's get right into it. So the very first thing we're going to go over is the distribution and licensing costs through Soundrop, which is an amazing distributor. I've been using them for years, and they do a really good job of checking to make sure that your tracks are licensable before they actually put it up on the platforms, which I cannot say for some other distributors that I will not actually name, but I'm sure we all know what I'm talking about. But yeah, for Soundrop, they used to have a $9.99 licensing fee per mechanical license that you had to request. But when I was making the album and I was about to distribute it and license it, I actually saw on Twitter that they were lowering their costs to only 99 cents per track, and that includes any of the licensing costs that might also come into play. So it's 99 cents per track no matter what. So because of that, I actually ended up saving quite a bit of money. If you think 10 tracks, right, for the Chrono Cross album, for the digital distribution for Spotify, $9.99 a track, that'd be $99, okay, through Soundrop. But because they dropped the price, I actually only paid $9.90 for that whole thing. So that saved me pretty much $90 right there. So that was really cool. I'm gonna start sharing my screen now so you can see what I am seeing. Now, I like to break everything down into spreadsheet form. I don't know about you guys, but making spreadsheets is like part of my life now. I don't know how I can be organized without it. But yeah, here is all of the different things that I have, all these different tabs. You're not missing anything because this is technically the last tab. So yeah, you can see the Soundrop distribution, 99 cents per track. The revenue share is 15%, but they just take that out automatically. You don't actually have to pay them up front except for this fee. So the total cost is $9.90, and they started this on August 2nd. And I think I'm pretty sure I submitted that day or the day after. So I actually was able to get pre-orders up and things like that, which is really good. You want to make sure that if you're going to make an album that you submit it at least 4 weeks, if possible, before your anticipated release date, just so that Soundrop has enough time to secure all the licensing and, get all that stuff ready, and then you can work on just promo marketing for those next few weeks, get the pre-orders, set and things like that. So yeah, so actually it looks like I did pay for it on the 2nd. So I literally that day, I went ahead and submitted the album for Soundrop. So $9.90. Okay, we're doing pretty good so far. Next one, we're actually gonna do EasySongLicensing next. So I'm gonna move that over there. So now this one is for Bandcamp, okay, and for the physical CDs that I had made. If you're not going to do a physical run, then you're not going to have to worry as much. But if you do want to put a cover album or even a cover song on Bandcamp, you need to go through a separate company to make sure that you have the proper licensing for that. So what we had was $26.09 per song. Okay, for the licensing for 100 CDs and 100 downloads, okay? And then at the time, they actually had a discount for 25% off, so I used that discount and some other discounts, and we ended up with $476.53 that I paid July 16th. Now, here's a further breakdown if you're like, how did you get to this number after this? So Yeah, $26.09 per song. This is 11 tracks, so 11 songs, okay? So for 100 compact discs to $86.99, for 100 digital downloads to $86.99. I also paid for the seal of authenticity, which I will explain a little bit more later on. But if you do end up getting your licensing through ESL, I highly recommend you get the seal of authenticity, because if you ever have to do reorders of your CDs, this is going to save you a ton of money. Okay, so just do it. It's $29. Just do it. You'll thank me later. Okay. So the actual subtotal was $602.98, which is okay. We're getting up here, but I had a volume discount of $44, and then another coupon discount, which I'm assuming is the 25% off. Okay. And that is $82.45. So it dropped down to the $476.53, which is here. Okay. So talking about the seal of authenticity, we'll just go through this real quick. Okay. I actually got an email from TeraCMusic because they wanted to purchase Crossing Worlds at wholesale so that they could sell it on their storefront. And so I had to pay extra money for more licensing and for more like physical CDs to be made. So I'm going to show the numbers for that. So this is what I ended up paying. So the licensing fee was $18.20 per song. Okay. So already it's a lot cheaper if you look at the comparison here. Okay. And again, there's no fees for the reorder for life, okay, if you get the seal of authenticity. So that's why this is a lot cheaper. And then, yeah, it was $200.20 for 200 CDs. Okay, so basically, in a sense, the same quantity as this, 100 compact discs, 100 digital downloads. You see how these prices are the same? So technically, if I got 200 CDs right off the bat, it would be doubling this number. But it's actually cheaper than the 100 compact discs were the very first time. So you can see having this $29, like I said, saved me like at least like $250, $300, okay, when I reordered this for Materia. So yeah, there's your proof right there. Get the seal of authenticity, especially if you're thinking about keeping this in circulation and you want to make sure that you stay in stock with your albums. Now, this is a limited run for me, so once I'm done with these CDs, once I've sold out, I'm sold out for good, and then people will have to actually purchase it through TeraCMusic if they want to grab a copy. So just putting that out there, but not everyone does that, so if you do want to do a reorder, it is definitely recommended to do that seal of authenticity, okay? Cool. All right, next up, we're gonna do the actual cost of the physical album, okay? Now, I used DiscMakers. You can use CD Baby as well. They're basically sister companies. They have the exact same pricing. Even their UI is pretty much the same. So yeah, it doesn't really matter too much which one you choose. I actually used DiscMakers though for this. Now, there's different types of albums that you can get. Okay, so this is a 4-panel Digipak that I ended up going for, but they also have jewel cases and other types of Digipaks as well that you can choose from. So it kind of just depends on, you know, your vision for the album, like what you want to be on there and how you'd like it to look. So the cost may vary in terms of that, but for the 4-panel Digipak, this is the kind of price breakdown that I have. So I was actually looking into distributing the album through CD Baby as well, and then I realized they only distribute, they actually don't license, and then this is all the price cost for that, and then it'd be $20 extra for UPC code. So this I actually had to pay, and the reason for that is because I have that extra track on the physical CDs, so I can't use the exact same UPC that I have for Soundrop. Hopefully that makes sense. It's not the exact same album in a sense, so I had to purchase another UPC code, but $20 is really not that bad in the grand scheme of things. I got a discount actually when I called DiscMakers themselves and talked to one of the representatives. She gave me her employee, like I think it's like 10% discount, But hey, 10% is something, okay? So if you are really, really frugal, you want to try to save as much money as you can, get as many discounts as you can, like me, I would definitely recommend you call them and see if you can get a little bit of a discount. Just ask if they have any promotions going on at the time. And worst case, they should be able to give you like a little bit of an employee, like 5 or 10% discount when you call. And that will still help for sure in terms of the cost. So the physical album cost for, well, technically, I guess for DiscMaker, CD Baby, same thing. It was $218 that I was quoted. Okay, so I had 100 of these. Okay, again, 4-panel Digipak. It has the gloss UV coating. Okay, and it came in poly/shrink wrap. And I didn't have to pay like extra for distribution to online stores. And then with the shipping cost and the tax and things like that, ended up being $280.89. Okay. Shipping, I think, was like, I want to say between $40 and $50. They shipped it in a huge, really well-packed box full of the CDs. So it's going to be a little bit expensive for the shipping itself, but it's definitely worth it because they do a really good job packaging it. I have not seen any CD that has been broken or anything damaged at all in that whole box that I have in my closet. So really great job in terms of shipping. So I highly recommend you go through DiscMakers for your CD making. So next up, we're going to go into the mastering costs. Now, I had my friend Julia Henderson, who is an amazing audio engineer, an amazing musician. I actually had her master the album for me. I'm hoping from now on I will master the tracks and the music myself for any future albums, because mastering can cost quite a bit. So this is what I have. So I was quoted $40 per track, which is probably kind of cheap. I'm assuming Julia would probably charge more than that, but it kind of, I guess, depends. A lot of these rates are negotiable. But I paid $40 per track for the 11 tracks. So I actually ended up paying $440 for that, plus another $45 for some mixing that she helped me with. She helped me mix for Time Scar a little bit. And then she also helped me mix Samantha Ballard's harp as well. So I paid her a little bit extra money as well for helping me with those things too. So I ended up paying $485 total for the mastering and the little mixing help that I had gotten from her. So we did that. So that's all set. But yeah, if you know how to master your music, I would highly recommend you just do it yourself because it does save you quite a bit of money. Even if you don't get someone like Julia and someone who has a lower rate, it's still going to be a couple $100s for you to have someone else master it. So if you're confident in your own ability to master and you're confident in your ears, then I'd suggest maybe just mastering it yourself, and then you'd save yourself that money. All right, next one is the commission of the artwork that you see on the front here. Okay, of the album. Now, I did all the typography and the font for the cover, but for the artwork itself, I commissioned someone. Her name is Erisir. I'm not sure if I said that right, but I found her on Instagram. She has this really, really cool style that I felt fit perfectly. And it's actually kind of similar to another artist's style that I've been using for my compilation albums. So I knew that like she was going to do a really good job. She only charged $72.60. It was in a different currency, so that's why it's a little weird, the US price. But yeah, she did such a great job with this. Like, it's beautiful. So I am super, super happy with this. Again, she said I can use this for commercial purposes, so I basically own this. And then the other pictures that I have on here, of course I used it again for the CD, but the other pictures are all pictures that I took. Okay, and then the last one is actually a stock image that is royalty free, that I use for the back. Super simple. It's really doesn't cost that much unless you want it to. Having an artist was a really good move for me because I wanted it to have a bit more of a fantasy feel, at least for the front cover. So that's how much it costs for that. Now, we're going to go into the other costs. Okay, so these are things that I did not have to pay directly for the making of the album, if you will, but other costs that had come up after for marketing and things like that. Okay. So I only have a few here. I did rent a studio here in Las Vegas for my The Departed Ones cover and for Radical Dreamers. There we go. So I actually rented, I think it was 2 hours. I paid $191.63 for that. And that's where they had that little clock tower type thing. It looked really, really cool. Worked so well for my Radical Dreamers cover. A lot of you had actually been commenting about it. If you have not seen it yet, you can definitely watch it. I will put a link in the description below. But yeah, so that was definitely worth it, but it was a cost after the fact for the video portion of the album marketing. Okay. Next up is the clothing that I got for the music videos. So most of the clothing I just kind of had already, but for Time Scar, I bought the skirt and the red jacket. I bought that specifically for filming Time Scar, so I'm including that in here. Just $31.39 for the clothes. And then the bubble mailers, which they're the purple envelopes that I've been using to ship out the CDs. That's another cost, but again, not in actually making the album, but something that you will probably have to spend some money if you're going to have physical CDs that you need to ship out to people, okay? So I think I got a 75 pack of bubble mailers from Amazon, and it was $22.74. This kind of gets paid for in the sense of the shipping cost. If you go on Bandcamp and you set your shipping price for the customers, you can get some of that money back, because it usually doesn't cost more than like $5 to ship something within the US at least. So if you have that and then you actually ship for less, then you can kind of pocket some of that money, and that'll help pay for the bubble mailers. But in general, it's really not a bad amount for 75 of them. So this is the total extra expenses that I have on the sheet as well, okay? I'm going to quickly show you the full sheet with all of these combined, okay? And you'll actually also see the total cost for, again, this is for making the album, so it does not include these extra expenses, okay? And the total cost is, drumroll please, that much. Okay, so this is how much it actually cost for me to make the Crossing Worlds album, okay? All of the distribution costs, the licensing costs, the CD costs, mastering, and the artwork, okay? So yeah, $1,300, that's a lot of money. So just when you're thinking about making an album, if you want to make sure you do it well and you have like a physical run, that's where most of the money is going to come. If you're just doing a digital album, your costs are going to be much, much lower than this, okay? This is like if you're going to go all out like I did for my first cover album. I don't know why why do I do this? I just go overboard for everything, but it's okay. That's how I am. So I learned so much from this experience and from this journey of making an album from scratch. And again, I need to thank all of my collaborators who helped me, like just submitting all of their parts, and that like really, really did help me keep to my deadline that I had, my personal deadline. If it weren't for them and for Julia with doing an amazing job mastering in such a short period of time, like this would not have come out when I wanted it to. So I am super, super thankful for everyone. Okay, finally, we're gonna go into some tips, okay? So these are things that I have learned from doing this whole thing, making this album, and yeah, I just feel like if you know this, it's gonna make your life easier and it might save you some money. So let's get right into that. Tips. All right, so I have just a couple here. I was hopefully gonna try to have a couple more, but if I think of more, I will let you guys know in the description or in the comments below. But the first one, and I have already mentioned this a bit, but look for and wait for discounts, okay? I got discounts for DiscMakers, I got discounts for EasySongLicensing, I got a sort of discount for Soundrop because they switched their payment structure, and then I got most of the clothes from the thrift stores, so that was obviously very cheap. I think that jacket that I got, $2? Something like that. Yeah, I think it was $2 for that freaking jacket. So super cheap. The skirt was not as cheap, but at least the jacket was super, super cheap. So I definitely recommend, if you're gonna do some kind of cosplay or, you know, try to find clothes specifically for your marketing for the music video, look at some thrift stores. You actually might be surprised at what you find. Okay, number 2, and I've already talked about this, get the seal. Okay, and I'm talking about the seal of authenticity that EasySongLicensing has. Okay, I've already shown you what happens if you pay for it and you have to reorder your CDs. Your costs go down quite a bit when you have to reorder, okay? So it pays for itself and then some when you actually have to reorder your CDs. So definitely get the seal of authenticity. If you want, you don't have to, but if you want, you can actually add the seal. You see how I have it right in that bottom left corner? So you can actually add that if you really want, just to have further proof that you did actually license it correctly, okay? And again, because of this, reordering is a lot cheaper. Number 3, I have also talked about this already, but think about mastering the album yourself because it can save a lot of money. I spent over $400 in terms of mastering. And again, I'm more than happy to pay it because Julia did an amazing job. But next time I'm gonna try to master it myself because then I can cut down a little bit on the costs. And then number 4 is to use Pirate Ship. I'm not sure if any of you have heard of Pirate Ship. Let me tell you a little bit of something about Pirate Ship. So when I had my first round of like pre-orders and other people ordering, and I finally got the CDs in, because it took a little bit longer than I had anticipated, but I finally got the CDs in. I was trying to ship it all. I went to the USPS, the US Post Office store, told them I needed to ship these things, and I paid a lot of money to ship them because I wanted them to have tracking numbers, right? Because I wanted to have the customers be able to track them so they know when they'll arrive, and I want to make sure it gets to every person safely, you know, it's not damaged and doesn't get lost. So I wanted to make sure that there was tracking numbers involved. But for some reason, the US Post Office does not want to do tracking for priority mail, which is stupid. So I had to pay a lot of money to ship. I think it was over $100 that I actually had to pay to ship the first round of CDs. And I'm like, I am not doing this again. This is ridiculous. Like, that's way too much money for shipping. I would have to either completely, like, really raise the price of shipping on Bandcamp, or I need to find another, like, a better alternative. So that brings me to Pirate Ship. And Pirate Ship is an amazing website where they actually save you a lot of money off of the US Postal Office rates and UPS rates as well. And it doesn't cost anything. Literally costs nothing for you to make an account, okay? And this is not sponsored. I just love Pirate Ship so much. And the reason why I love Pirate Ship is because it costs me less than $4 every time I ship something within the US to someone. Okay, so like $3.16, $3.87, like something like around there. So pretty much always less than $4 to ship it, okay? Depending on where it is in relation to where I am, okay? But they also include tracking numbers. How? I don't know, because the US Postal Office does not want to do that. So not sure how they're able to do that, but it is such a heaven send to be able to give someone a tracking number, and they know they can track it, they can check and see when it's going to come, and I know it arrives to them safely as well. So this is the place to go when you need to ship your CDs, okay? Please just make an account right now if you're ever like even just thinking about making a physical form of your album, okay? If you're in the US, you need to make an account on Pirate Ship, okay? They're going to save you so much money. I think that is everything. And yeah, it is probably a long video. I apologize, but I also thank you for sticking with me. I hope you've been enjoying the background music throughout this. And yeah, if you like what you're hearing, you can definitely pick up my album on Bandcamp, or you can also find it on Spotify, Amazon Music, YouTube Music. Where else is it? It's Deezer, probably Yandex. I don't even know, man. It's like everywhere. So I'm sure that it's on the website or on the platform that you usually use to listen and purchase your music, so definitely check it out. Thank you guys so much for staying throughout the entire video. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to definitely have another cover soon, so keep an eye out for that. And yeah, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you so much. Bye.